This session is for the Vantage integrator with the intent of providing some hints for successfully implementing the Equinox lighting widget. We'll give you 6 quick considerations that should be very helpful as you do so. Our first consideration is the name of each load as it appears in the Equinox interface. It's not uncommon for us to have a verbose descriptive name for each light and perhaps some technical details. Now, this may not be the best name to expose to the system user for their accurate representation of that load. So, Vantage provides a display name field allowing for you to put the name as it will be displayed within the Equinox interface. Now, if you leave this blank and don't enter a display name, it will substitute the standard name. A related consideration for the load name is the number of characters that will fit within the fixed space allotted for each load object within the Equinox widget. Now, because of proportional font, we cannot give a fixed number of characters that's going to work. For example, an I and an L are going to take less room than standard characters, and W is going to take more. An area page has a slightly narrower field for the name, as we see here with Fireplace Billiard, than that same space in Favorites. So I can fit 12 characters or less typically in the area and maybe up to 14 characters in the Favorites page. But whenever it's too long, the name will be truncated, as we see here with the ellipses. Now remember that because of proportional font, this 12 characters in the area and 14 in the Favorites is simply a rule of thumb, and there may be some variance from that. You might have noticed that each lighting zone object in the widget has an icon. The icon used is automatically assigned by Design Center using clues that you provide. If no clue is provided, this will be a generic light bulb. If you assign a fixture type to the load, it will use the icon from the fixture definition, which you can change. If you do not assign a fixture type, Design Center looks for a clue such as the word recessed in the load name that will be shown in the Equinox widget. As previously stated, this is the display name if it exists, or if the display name is left blank, it will be the name. Our next consideration is organization of the project tree area. Now, there is an area page created as we've seen before, and this is determined for each area that is a direct child of the project root level. So if we look over here at the area view, we have interior, exterior, and unknown. Notice that that does not match what we're seeing here. The file I'm showing you is not what is currently loaded to the controller. And I want to show then what we would get if we did it this way. Instead of seeing lower floor, main floor, third, and so on, we would see interior, exterior, and unknown, which is not what we necessarily want. So, in order to make this more beneficial for the user, I'm going to take these and put them at the base level, at the root level of the project. And then I'm just going to put them in the order that I want them to be in. And now that will match what we have shown you. Now, regardless of how you organize the area tree, you need to also be aware that the order in which rooms are presented within each area will depend upon your structure. So if you want to change, this is the only place to change that. It cannot be edited within the widget. Make sure to use logic here to the order that you present. Now, there are a number of cases in which it might not be appropriate to expose a load object for system user control. Some examples are relays that are used for shade and motor controls that need to be coordinated with each other or pulsed, high and low capacitance fan control loads, and unused station loads. Now in this example, this particular project was a conversion from a Vantage Vision project, and some of the loads wired into the modules were never identified. So we created an area we called unknown, and we stuffed all those loads there. Now we don't want to present these to the user as they would only be confusing him, so we hide them by selecting each one and then clicking the check mark next to the exclude from widgets. And we want to make sure that that says true. This load now will not be viewable in any instance within the Equinox user interface. So any area of the project area tree that does not have any viewable loads, and unknown now with all of them excluded, will not even show up as an area. Also, this original interior has no load, so it will not show up. Our final recommendation is that if a customer desires to make changes to names, structure, order, and etc. once profiles have been created, most likely we don't want to lose what is in those profiles. So make your changes, do a full system reprogram, and make sure that the Read and Restore Equinox Profiles and User Data option is selected. This is selected as a default, just don't deselect it in this case. This concludes our session on Design Center preparation and considerations for the lighting widget. Thank you for watching.